Hey guys, let's get ready together today. I am heading out to cover some emergency shifts in maybe 3 hours or so. So I do want my makeup to last through the day, but today, caveat, we're doing all affordable drugstore makeup. I basically scraped together everything I have from the drugstore because if you know my channel, there's not that much drugstore that I'm trying, so I'm sort of trying to figure out if they're any good. The stuff that I recently hauled and some of the stuff I know is great, which I've owned for a while. So today is going to be a pull together drugstore face that's going to last you sort of day. Unfortunately, the only drugstore foundation that I have on hand is this Burts Bees Goodness Glows, and I obviously got it in the wrong shade. It's a 1005 Porcelain. Unfortunately, you know, if you shop at the drugstore, A, the color selection is not great to begin with, but B, they don't always have testers out, so you can't always tell what your shade is. So I will be mixing it with a little bit of liquid bronzer. So let me get the foundation going. This foundation is a bit dry for my dry skin, so I wouldn't recommend it to those of us who are inclined to dryness, so to say. So let's see if that is a decent color match, or do I need to add more bronzer? I'm applying it on my beauty blender. I didn't start with like, yeah, it's gonna be a good color match with the bronzer. I did not start with skincare because I actually do not have any skincare that is drugstore that I like, except for a couple of Body Shop items, but unfortunately the problem is that I just don't have enough to do an entire skincare sort of routine, so I didn't. I'm using my regular stuff underneath this makeup, but we're gonna see how this is gonna last and how it's going to do. As you can see, it's a little bit unusual for me, but I do have some breakouts. So over the last 2 months, 3 months or so, I've been quite sick, developed a bacterial, disgusting sinusitis, which I'm getting treated with antibiotics right now. I'm obviously working through it anyway. Like, you know, if you are in a career like a physician that demands you to sort of be there and there's nobody else to cover, you kind of you don't get to be sick, and you don't get to feel bad, and you don't get to like not be well because other people are unwell and it's your job to take care of them. But definitely I have sinusitis, and it's really messy and disgusting and gross, but it's second day of antibiotics and I can already tell the difference. But my skin is hating me. It's not behaving. It's like on top of hormonal stuff, because it's that time of the month, I do have like a ton of breakouts. For me, that's a ton of breakouts. So one here, couple here. It's just not a good skin month for me. But I understand, like, I'm abusing my body at this point, not taking care of myself. So of course my skin is not gonna like it. But a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. So this is the kind of coverage I got. It's sort of like light to medium to me. It looks good on skin right now, but only because I extra moisturized and oiled my skin before applying it. Otherwise it would look a little bit dry. It might still look a bit dry. I don't have a concealer, so I'm not going in with a concealer. Let's try out some of these LA Girl Velvet Bronzer Contour Sticks. And I have it in a bronzer shade Brazen, and what they think is a contour shade Suede, but it's a bit orange. However, I do want to try the orangey side. It is a little bit more orange on camera than it is in real life, but let's see. I am going to see how that works. Work. Okay, well, it's not bad actually. It reminds me of what Clinique Chubby Stick can do. I mean, it's not flawless, but it's not bad. All right, I feel you, LA girl. Good job. That's very decent. Very decent. Let's do it on the other side. So there is a much better chance for me to like cream products than powder products, because I feel like cream products are potentially easier maybe to get the formula correctly. I'm going to put some around my forehead. So I do feel like maybe cream products can be a little bit easier to get right for the drugstore, but on the other hand, it's difficult in general to get a formula to work well. So I commend the LA Girl, actually. This is really not bad at all. Really quite nice. I like the bronze that it gave me. The tone that scared me a little bit, I really blended out into something quite natural. Far less orange than my Chanel Soleil de Chanel, which I finished last year. Really not bad, not bad. I like it. So, forcing myself to be creative, I have my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter stick, and I'm going to use it as both a base for shadow and maybe a little bit for brightening up under the eye, because it's still, the coverage is not great, and maybe I need a little bit of brightness. So let's see if it works that way or not. It might not, who knows, let's see. I'm happy with it on the lids, so let's see what it can do for under the eyes. Just a little bit of brightness in the corners, because, you know, looking hella tired after all this sickness. It brightened up a little bit. I'm not mad at it. I think it looks pretty good. It's quite creamy, so I knew that it was probably going to work. I have to say, the only couple things that I do not have from the drugstore and we're going to substitute are unfortunately things for my brows and for my lashes. The mascara, I do not have a drugstore mascara right now on hand, and I'm certainly not buying a mascara for one video of getting ready together, so we're gonna do what we can. So for brows, I'm going to go with my Benefit Goof Proof. Oh, one other thing, I usually use a mirror to sort of get closer up and do my brows, and none of the products that I have here from the drugstore have a mirror included. I guess it's one of the ways to save. So I'm going to pull from my makeup box and use this little mirror over here. But not the product, just the mirror. One brow done, let's match the other one. Success. So now I'm going to set the brows. And I'm going to set the brows with my Sephora brow gel, which technically is in drugstore, but isn't that expensive really. So I do recommend that one. So the next step is going to be shadows. These are my favorite shadows from the drugstore. I don't think anybody can beat that. It's their little formula, trio formula. Go get those. Like, if you are looking for a drugstore gem, that is absolutely that. And this is Sweet as Candy Trio. Why I chose that, because it has a pink eyeshadow, which first of all, I kind of am feeling pink a little bit today. But secondly, I was hopeful to get some use out of it in terms of having it as a blush. So let's see if we can do that. It's very shimmery, so it's gonna be like a blush highlighter, hopefully. Anyway, let's see if that's even possible. I might be screwing up everything badly right now. No, it's possible. It's just a blush highlighter. It gives you a lot of glow, but there's definitely enough pigmentation to use it as a little blusher. It's cute. I kind of like it. It's nice and shiny, but you know, if you have textured skin, not gonna fly. I'm telling you right away, don't do it. Okay, let's go on the other side. By the way, I'm using a drugstore brush. This is e.l.f. blush brush. Super impressive. I don't really love all of their brushes, but this one is really, really good. So go get yourself a few of these because of the shape, and it's quite soft. It's not the softest I've had ever in my life, but it's quite soft and totally worth the money, the few bucks that I spent on it. So actually this is quite fresh. I like it. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the brow bone color from the same trio and throw it all over my lid. It's gonna be a very glowy look, but I want to make it quite natural too. Let's see if we can achieve a really beautiful natural look out of the drugstore products. So this brightened really nicely. You can also throw some under your brow bone if you want to. I feel like I want to, because we're going all out glow today. And the third shade here I like, but I'll save it for now, and I'll go into my Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer because I want a little bit less shimmer through my crease. So I'm going to pick some up on the same brush that I just cleaned with a color switch thingy, and I'm going to put some color through my crease. Okay, this really requires blending, so let's go ahead and do that. with a fluffier brush from Prescriptives, I'm going to soften up that orangey brown. This bronzer is a little bit too orange for my liking, but I think it'll suit anybody with a slightly more yellow undertone just fine. Next, I'm taking this brown color from the same palette, and I am going to deepen up my outer V with it ever so slightly, and put it under the lower lash line as well. Since I don't have an eyeliner from the drugstore, we're going to skip that step entirely. And besides, we're doing this glowy little look, so who needs an eyeliner for that? I'm going to go with my Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. No, this is not a bronzer. This is a setting powder, very glowy setting powder. I'm going to go into it with my fluffy brush, and I'm going to set my under eye with it. Again, this is not taking away from the glow. It's just helping your makeup stay put a little bit longer. And I need that because, as you know, I work long hours, so I can't have it move around and be messy on me. I like it for under the eyes. I think it looks really nice. And I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro Powder HD powder, which I haven't really figured out if I like or not quite yet. And I'm going to set the rest of my face with this powder. Let's see if it does any smoothing, or it's quite a good mattifying powder. I don't know how it would look in pictures, but in real life it looks pretty invisible, at least on my skin tone, it does. So I think there's quite a bit of glow going on, but I do want to show you how this guy looks at me. This is not a great shade for me, but I'm going to show you anyway. It's Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. It is too dark for my skin tone, so if you're anywhere close to where I am in terms of skin tone, it might not look great on you, as I don't think it looks great on me, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. It gives it a lot more warmth. You see this is a lot more yellow than this side. It might not come across so great on camera because I'm not piling it up, and I'm not piling it up because I don't want to have stripes of orangey glow on my face. Although if the color suits you well, this formulation is wonderful. It gives you quite significant amount of glow, which a lot of people really like. I'm going to continue trying to use it. I found that if I use it in a very, very sheer way, it's not as bad. I can kind of get away with it like I am today. But you see, this is quite dark. My cheekbones are quite dark rather than light. So the pigment itself is dark, but the sheen is really impressive. Let's move on to the lips. Today I want to show you this fail product, unfortunately, Wet n Wild Color Icon 717 Berry Red. My problem with this is that although it's creamy and nice, the cap just won't stay on, so I'm sure I'll lose it and then it'll dry out very, very fast. I'm sure it's drying out already because the cap doesn't actually close well, but I'm going to give myself a red stain. I have some lip balm on my lips now, so we're going to work the liner in to the lip balm. It gives it a much more sheer application, and this is a beautiful color red, I think, very neutral, so it will suit everybody. So this gave me a little bit of a stain. I want to soften up the edges of the lips and give myself the I just sucked on the popsicle kind of look. And how I do it is by going into the center of the lips with a bright color and really sort of piling out that bright color on there. Leave the rest of the lips. You can even leave the rest of the lips completely bare if you wanted to. And then you pat, pat, pat in the center, but not diffusing too far in or out, I guess. And there you go. You have your popsicle lips. A little bit bright, but I kind of like the color. So we will finish off with mascara. And the mascara I'm using today is going to be the Diorshow Maximizer Lash Serum Primer, which I'm going to generously slather all over my lashes. And then on top of that, we're going to go with my Guerlain Maxilash Cils d'Enfer mascara in black. And I'm going to go over the top and the bottom lashes both. Bam! Lashes. So what can I say about my makeup today? It's definitely very glowy. I can't say I dislike it. I wish I had a concealer so I can color correct or conceal some of the issues that are still very apparent on my skin. All this shine, which I had to use because I didn't have many matte products, is really highlighting some of the texture around my cheeks, which I don't generally see because, well, because usually my skin texture is actually quite smooth. But here, even the smallest little pores that are there are really illuminated because I had to use the glowy products. But I don't necessarily think it's a fault of the drugstore products. It's just the way the products worked out. Just a lot of glow. I like the lip color that I came up with. I think it's a really pretty shade, and I think I would wear it again unless I lose the damn thing, because it just won't close. The things I liked the most applying, I love the eyeshadows, but they're all shiny, so not as multifunctional as they could be if there was a matte in there. This, I'm not sure how I feel still. I do like the powder. I think the powder did a decent job. The bronzer is a little orange for me. This is great, but I wouldn't put it on cheeks because that can highlight texture or either very light dusting of it. This one I love, and it's in my project pan, so you know I like it enough. Again, the lip color is great and it's very creamy. And these, I only used one today, and I do like both of them. I tried both of them previously. They're decent sticks. I don't think they're much worse than anything else I've tried on the market. Very comparable to certain formulas of the higher end sticks. I prefer something a little creamier. These are very silicone free, silicone heavy, I'm assuming. Yeah, there's a lot of silicone, because they feel like a lot of silicone, so they might not stick around as well because silicone does slide off the skin often. The benefit is that they blend very well. So I think a lot of that is you just have to try and see how you feel about it. The standout products are really, I think these three I really like, and I will probably continue using on somewhat or fairly frequent basis. I hope it was fun for you to get ready together. Do you have any drugstore jams that you absolutely swear by? And I'm not saying the look is not pretty, because it is, but yeah, I think you can achieve really beautiful looks with drugstore things. Not many of these are ideal for me, and I would tweak the formulas a little bit to make them better, but some of these products are absolutely fantastic and definitely deserve to be purchased, because they're really good products. Leave below if you have any sort of holy grail drugstore finds that you absolutely love. Mine is Maybelline Age Rewind. I think that is an absolutely fantastic product, as well as the Sweat and Wild. I was so impressed with. And I have a few more from the drugstore that I really enjoyed throughout the years, especially mascaras. I love drugstore mascaras. I think CoverGirl does them beautifully. If I could just buy mascaras from CoverGirl for the rest of my life, I'd be totally fine. But that's it for today. This is the look. Let me know if you enjoy that sort of a look, or whether you go for drugstore products that give you that sort of a fresh look. Have a good day. See you guys later. Bye bye.